Hello everybody, it is JD here and welcome to today's No Money Spent episode. We are still alive, but my goodness me, just about. We're starting the episode with 2,000 MT, 0 tokens, counter just in a brilliant position right now. But we do have some auctions to cash in. We do have a little bit of a plan for what we're going to do moving forward. We're not going to die, not going to let it die just yet. 2K wanted to die, but I'm not going to let that happen just yet. We're going to fight until the very end. And today we're going to talk about the collector level because it is just... it's in the worst place, and it's so frustrating because it is literally what myself and so many other people sort of like aim for the entire yearly game cycle. And we're coming up to May. It's May in a couple of days' time. This game will end in and around July, is when 2K kind of give up, if they haven't already. And that's not very far away, and there is still a lot to be released for us to get to where we're going to get to. So, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today, but we are not going out without a fight. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for the daily videos, and check out twitch.tv/JD_crossover for the daily streams. FIFA Team of the Season has started, and we have packed some Team of the Seasons, which is great news. As for today, there were some Evos. Can I tell you who they were? Not really. The Lakers, D'Lo got one. Where's D'Lo? D'Lo got one from a pink diamond up to an opal. He only went to an opal, so nothing too exciting there for D'Lo. I believe there was another one that was a dark matter somewhere. But again, I don't think it was too incredible. And then we've got a Game 7 tomorrow night with the Warriors against the Kings, which is very exciting. It might have been Malik Monk. Did he get a double Evo? Malik Monk is now a dark matter. Yeah, I think that's new today. I think Malik Monk getting that one, and then I believe did Keegan Murray get one as well? It was a double. This might have been Keegan Murray's first one. He's got an Evo now from a pink diamond to an opal. Now that must have already been there. So yeah, a couple of Evos, but again, the Evos, they just do not matter in this game in the slightest, because there's nothing to do with them. You know, we've got some Game 6s now, although saying that 2K haven't actually updated this with Game 6s, but we know from the Celtics Hawks series, Game 6 give you 2,500 MC, which is literally pointless. Right, let's talk about this, and let's talk about why this is the most disappointing thing this year, and why I genuinely think 2K have forgotten it exists. So the collector level, it's there every year. More often than not, it is the main thing you want to aim for. 2K20 collector level with Opal AD, Opal Dwayne Wade. There was an AK in there as well. I think it was that year. Amazing. So good. 21, useless. 2K just completely forgot it existed, like they do with a lot of things most of the time. It was genuinely like one thing at 2,000 cards, which is a Lillard, I think, and then Invincible Tatum at 4,000 cards. And like that was it. Nothing in between. It was dreadful. Last year changed that. Collector level was good. Collector level was worth it. We stayed up to date with it throughout the entire year. It was affordable. It was still very expensive, but it was maintainable. And today, last year, which is why I'm making this video today, last year, April the 29th, Invincible Dirk was added to the database, and theoretically, I don't think anybody got him on that day, but theoretically, you could complete the collector level. So this time last year, this was done. And what that meant is that anybody who completed it, obviously you got the reward, which was the Invincible Dirk and every Hoff badge in the game. Last year it was 80, this year it's 64. But of course what it also meant is you could then sell everything that you had for the collector level, free that all up, and then just enjoy having that amount of MT free in your collection rather than being invested in cards. Now last year it was 4,000 cards, I think it was 4,000 cards. It was a lot of cards, but anyway, last year it was cards, including jerseys, which is obviously a lot. You know, there's a lot of jerseys here, including jerseys, including coaches, arenas, playbooks, logos, court floors, and basketballs. All of that last year counted towards the collector level. This year, of course, they have separated it. You've got the two colorways, which never counted anyway. They're just irrelevant. But you've got uniforms here at 450 and court floors at 150 items. So I feel like what's happened here, and this is why I feel like they've genuinely forgotten about this. If you add this 3,400 to this 600, you get the 4,000. But that is obviously not accounting for the fact that there are also the coaches, the playbooks, the basketballs, all of those other hundreds of cards worth of stuff which now are turned into specifically players. And that is the big problem from this year. Another problem is the fact that we don't actually know what we're earning towards. Last year we knew off rip it was Invincible Dirk. We knew what we were aiming towards and that was great fun. This year, not a clue. Could be anything. Could be something good, could be something bad. Nobody has a clue what we are working towards, which is the most 2K thing possible. So yeah, you don't know what you're aiming towards, which obviously sucks. But we are in May in a couple of days. Again, you'll have the entirety of May, all of June, and then July is kind of like it. That's kind of when 2K really pumped the brakes on 2K23, and then August, of course, they just disappear. And mainly for July as well, they'll just disappear. So right now, the highest collector level is 2,400. Maybe somebody's here, but even if they're here, I still need 1,000 more cards. So, what does 1,000 cards look like? 1,000 cards looks like 2 entire base sets. So a base set, 15 cards per team, 30 teams, 450 cards. Quick maths. So 2 full base sets in the next 2 months, when up until this point this year, we have only had 2 anyway. That gets 900 cards. So then you're still not even there. So then you think, all right, well, what do we get every week? Well, every week we get 13 cards, plus a little Tuesday drop with not many cards. So probably 20 cards a week. So then you're looking at 5 more weeks. So if they drop 2 entire base sets, you're still then looking at another 5 weeks worth, which then puts us through the entirety of May, and then you're into June. And again, at that point, you've put so much MT to it. We'll get into the MT side of things soon. But it just seems like they have genuinely forgotten about it. I don't see how there could be a plan for this. We've already got a playoff set. Unless they, at the end of round 1, do a playoff set to like recap round 1 or something like that. But we've got a series 1, we've got a series 2. They didn't drop like a historic playoff set or anything like that. That didn't happen. I don't understand where 1,000 players, again, it's not cards, it is 1,000 players. I don't understand where 1,000 players come from, being the fact that we are now, again, we're pretty much coming into May. This game's been out for, what is that, 7 months, something like that, I don't know. And in 7 months, they've been able to release 2,400. And you're telling me in 2 months they're going to release another 1,000? To me, it does not seem to add up. And as for the rewards this year, it has been nothing really short of pathetic, realistically. I have probably put into this in and around 6 to 7 million MT. Obviously, it's very hard to know exactly how much MT I've put into collector level. I would say around 6 to 7 million MT. Has anything been worth it? Hoff badges are obviously nice. The tokens are irrelevant. Don Nelson is the only thing that has been worth it. He is my coach, and he's still the best coach out there, so happy days. That was at 1,500 cards. That was a long time ago. Moses Malone, nobody uses. George Gervin, nobody uses. Dave Cowens, awful card art, which is the same for all of these cards. They all look absolutely awful, like a 2-year-old drew them. But again, nobody really uses them because there's so many other options out there already. And then there's no other cards past that. So, for the amount of money it's cost to get to this position, it is just unfathomable that we still don't have an end date. We have no roadmap on how it's going to go. And of course, this year, more than ever, there is no way to generate MT, so you can't even get yourself any higher in this, which does suck. So I think we are going to have, through sheer necessity, we're going to have to bail on it. And it sucks to get this far. I say this far, we're still 1,000 cards away, but we're in May. And last year, it would have been done by now. Like, I was under the impression that there was going to be like a historic base set. I was under the impression that at the start of the season, or like, in January or February or something like that, we get a heat check or dynamic ratings, something like that. And as time has gone on, just nothing, and then a bit more nothing. The playoffs are underway now, more teams are getting eliminated, so there's less chances of like a big playoff set happening, which obviously didn't even happen with this. So at this point, we're just going to have to sell everything. Now, obviously, I've got a lot of sets locked. We locked in a lot of sets for tokens, for Hoff badges, back when that was a thing. Not anymore. But we do still have a few little bits and bobs to sell. Now, pink diamonds obviously won't really sell for anything, but we've got a couple of opals. You know, we've got a John Morant here who's probably like 30k. Season 5, we've got AI, Joe Johnson, McHale, Spicy P, Danny Granger. We've got Rudy Gay. He's probably worth a little bit, maybe. Nobody's there. It's going to be worth anything. Who we've got here? Schengen might be worth something. None of these guys will be worth anything. We have an AK somewhere. Maybe not. We've got Ricky Davis. He might be worth a little something. Probably not a lot of something. Yeah, we've got Andre Kirilenko there. So I think we are just going to rinse every opal. There's not real much point in selling all the pink diamonds, to be fair, because they're worth nothing. But I think if we sell all the Galaxy opals, get ourselves to a couple of 100,000 MT, because we will get, comfortably a good couple 100,000 MT. We've got a Hero Boogie here, who on his own is probably like 50k, hopefully, maybe. We've got Jordan Poole here, Hero card. 20k, good times. Hopefully we can get up to like a good $500,000-ish, something like that. And then we're just going to have to try our very, very best to be very, very sensible and work the auction house and try and turn that into more money to then, at a later date, get back in to the collector level. But for now, we just cannot sustain where we're at. These cards are all obviously 500k ahead. Tim Thomas 500k, Luka Doncic 500k, Bol pushing 700k. If you want to get involved with the hero side of things, that's a million MT for Tim T, and it's 1.7 mil for Bol. So completely unaffordable, completely out of the realms of any possibility for a normal person to engage with. You can see here Bol is being price fixed at sort of like 1.3 mil by the looks of it. There would be absolutely no reason that a card 48 minutes away would already be at 1.3 mil. There's absolutely no reason that would happen. Even with Tim Thomas here, it's looking kind of sus. This one at a mil, but this one at nothing with 56 badges. It's just very apparent in the game this year, and very sad that the price fixing is so rampant, and 2K are doing nothing to stop it. Absolutely nothing to try and stop it. 1.4 mil on 48 Luka right there. Goodness me. So, we could do something like that. We've got a couple of badges left. But I think that's going to be the plan. As for our investments, yeah, I started selling off Tyrese Maxey. Let's cash him in. And I'm going to hold my hands up. So my other investments were fine. I'm not mad at my previous investments. We invested in Jar, and then 2K doing 2K type things. Didn't give him an Evo for 45 points. And now he's out, so he's not going to get an Evo. So good work, 2K. Well done. Well done, you. But I'm not mad at that. That was a good investment. It just didn't work out because 2K. The Drew Holiday one, he could have had a game. He just didn't. He played really, really, really poor in the playoffs. And who would have thought that they'd go out in the first round? I mean, that's crazy. So that one, it is what it is. Donovan Mitchell again, really disappointing in this postseason. So it just kind of seems like whoever we're investing in here just sort of falls off completely. We've got 3 Sabonis's before a Game 7. The Kings are at home for Game 7, but I'm probably just going to sell it before then. So he's probably going to go to a dark matter. And I'm going to hold my hands up with Tyrese Maxey. I'll be honest, in my mind, this dude is 6'5". I don't know where that came from, but I did not realise he is only 6'2". I don't know why. You think you've thought about it so much, you're like, oh, Tyrese Maxey's a great investment. He's 6'5". I know that from previous 2Ks. For some reason, well, not for some reason, he's 6'2". He is born 6'2". For some reason, I thought he was 6'5". Yeah, he's a 6'2" card, so this is obviously not worthwhile investing in the slightest. So I will sell all of my Tyrese Maxeys, get 10k back per head for him. So bonuses will go, and then we're going to rinse all the opals, liquidate everything there, and then kind of regroup and see where we are at. But as for the collector level, I genuinely do think that 2K have forgotten about this, knowing what their schedule is like, knowing how they usually wrap things up quite early in the year, knowing how they've already wrapped things up in the Season 6. We're halfway through Season 6, by the way. Halfway through. Has literally anything happened? No. And yeah, this collects level, there's no mention of it in the blog, of course. Maybe Season 7 they mention it in the blog, but would you hold out hope of that happening? Because I don't think I would. So we've got a little bit of a plan. We are still alive. Don't worry. The account is not deceased as of yet. But we've got one roll of the dice, and that's pretty much it. But we can still, I think with Luke here, so just saw that 48 hollow one. I think I've got 22 badges actually fit on a Luca here, which does take him over the 50 mark. So, yeah, 50 does sell for a mil. So, we do have potential here to get back into the game. Not a lot of it, but a little bit. Is that going to be enough to get me motivated to start grinding out Hoff badges again? I really, really don't think so. This season, one game of Unlimited and the 50 games of co-op and nothing else. So that is going to do it for me today. Let me know down below, genuinely, what do you think has happened with the collector level? Do you think this is the pacing that 2K want? Do you think it is sticking to a schedule? Do you think they've forgotten about it? Do you think last year they made it available too early? What are you thinking about it down below? But I genuinely at this point think they've forgotten about it. And also, more egregiously, I think they know that the people who go for the collector level, not me obviously, but the people who go for the collector level are their most hardcore spenders. And I think the longer, I think they know, the longer that the collector level is alive for, the longer it keeps going, the more these absolute whales, the more these addicts are going to keep spending an absorbent amount every single week to try and get those players to try and be the first collector level. I think they know they're some of their biggest spenders, and I think they want to keep them going as long as they can. So I think it's probably a combination of those two things. But yeah, let me know down below, what are you thinking? That's going to do it for me today, everybody. I'm going to get to selling, and we'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a big boy cashing in. Fingers crossed. That's going to do it for me. Hope you guys have enjoyed. As usual, please subscribe. I'll see you next time, and peace.